Welcome to Profit First Beyond the Book, a podcast that takes you beyond the book with Profit First. Brought to you by Tim Duncan and the rest of the Profit First Professionals UK and Ireland team. Welcome along, Gareth. It's really good to have you with us. And so I'm going to ask you straight away just to give us a little introduction of who you are and why you're here.
Yeah, of course. No, thank you for having me, Tim. First things first, I really like the intro music. That's got proper, chilled out beach vibes. I'm bopping along to that when it comes on.
We tried to choose a chilled vibe, was the intention.
Yeah, it's worked. Yeah, so for the purpose of the recording, my name is Gareth Evans. I'm the founder of Evans & Co. Hospitality Accountants and also Profit First Hospitality. Hospitality, just in case that didn't sink in from those bits.
There you go.
There we go.
For those on the video, you'll see a banner coming up. So I'm fully prepared for this, Gareth. So don't you worry. So Gareth, it's great to have you on the show. Now, you've been a Profit First professional since October last year. I think we probably spoke a month or two before, and I can remember when I said to you the next intake is October, you were a little bit impatient, and because you wanted to join straight away once you made your mind up this was for you. So I just want to kind of ask you a little bit about how you came across Profit First in the first place and what your thinking was about joining us.
Oh, yeah. Well, without going through too much of a sob story, long story short was I ended up with an eye infection in one eye, then in the other eye, then in both eyes. So I couldn't do much bar listen to audiobooks. And one of my clients she'd already been through Profit First and read it, but just couldn't implement it herself. So she'd said, can you have a look at this and see if it's something you can help me with? And I went through it and started doing it in my own business and I turned it into a game, a bit for anybody old enough to remember, a bit like Bullseye. Let's have a look at what you could have won. And it was honestly, it really hurt me when I was kind of going through everything, going, what the fuck am I actually paying for? Really sorry for swearing on your podcast, Tim, but it's going to keep happening, as you well know. So you might, I don't know if you have to put an age rating on it or something like that. I'll try and keep it to a minimum. But anyway, I'd kind of gone through it and thought, oh my God, I'm missing a trick here. I was, like everybody else, you're kind of doing that weird mental arithmetic when the bills are coming out, going, well, I've got this for this and that for that. The balance is this, and let's have a look at the cash flow forecast and let's try and map out what's due and what's in there and what's not. And I'm probably similar to most accountants in the fact that, yeah, my clients' books might be stellar, but mine, oh my God, it looks like Russia's just been in and done a number on it because you're not getting paid to do your own, so they get left till last minute. But it was kind of a bit of a chaotic mess. And once I've been through the book, 2, 3, and 4 times within the space of about 6 weeks, it's like I need to do this. So obviously filled out, had a couple of pints, as you do, filled out the website, because I thought if I don't do it now, I'm going to kick this down the road and it may never happen, but fuck it, let's go with it, see what happens. Then obviously you reached out, Tim. You put me in touch with, is it Amanda? Who did you put me in touch with? Somebody else? Debbie. I don't know. Sorry, yeah. I don't know where I got Amanda from at all, mate. You put me in touch with Deb. I had a good chat with her. And I was like, yeah, this seems like it's for me. And I know it sounds daft, but when you're choosing something like this, like I've previously done Dent, and I did get a lot out of that, but that's 12-month term. So if you're not enjoying it, it's kind of like, well, I'm fucking stuck with this now, and I don't want to be in it. So I know with you guys, it's obviously if you're not getting anything out of it, then feel free to leave because you don't want to suck up all your time and energy with that. And it was oddly enough, that was one of the selling points for me. I'm like, well, these guys are confident that it can do some good. Otherwise, they tie me in, which is, I'm exactly the same with the accountancy practice. We run on 30-day terms. Because if you're not happy being here and I'm not happy with you being here, then I don't want you here and you shouldn't have to stay. So it was a selling point. But I am, as you know, Tim, I'm very much one of those people that if I want to do something, I just kind of go and do it. I don't like waiting, but I did. And then I steamrolled through everything as quickly as humanly possible, absorbed as much as possible, spoke to as many clients about it as possible, did all of the beta testing. One of the favourite things for me is the online portal, and I'm kind of sad that it's being pulled from the US now. I know that you guys are doing everything you can to get it going live over here, but it was honestly, it was one of my favourite parts of it. The fact that I could charge through that at my own pace without having to kind of almost, classroom style it and wait for everybody to sort of catch. And even when it got through it all, there was still more in there for me to then go through, which just, it massively aided in kind of drawing out my own plan for Profit First. And then I think month on month, I've gone and done my own profit assessment again and again and again, because I like shiny objects, Tim. So I need to curtail it with stuff like that. So I now have my own shiny objects pot in Monzo for the random stuff that I want to test and try and figure out. But having that in the separate pot also, when that starts running dry, it makes me look at it and go, oh crap, I kind of need to reevaluate this again. It's probably, this has definitely been one of the best things I've decided to take up. Yes, we have gained clients from it. Yes, we have moved over existing clients to it, and new clients who've come into the practice. We've incorporated Profit First straight into our fees and into the way that we work. So it's been really worthwhile, but it has saved me a chunk of money by kind of even, it sounds harsh, evaluating the people I've got working for me to go, do I really need you here, or have I just kind of got another pair of hands because I thought we've needed another pair of hands? And as it turned out, yes, I was, and yes, I did. So by kind of following through with Profit First and sticking with it, because I'm terrible at holding myself accountable, our labour percentage has come down over the last, since listening to the book last June up until now, our labour percentage has come down from probably about 65% down to 49%.
Wow.
But our turnover has gone up, and profitability in other areas has gone up. So I'm very transparent with figures. So I think our 2023 accounts posted a EBITDA of about 15 grand. And our 2024 accounts posted an EBITDA of 15 grand, and our 2025 draft is 63k net profit. So it's a massive difference, mate. That's the difference between me and my wife being able to move house and not, just by putting in a bit of graft. And it wasn't even for the full financial year, was it? It was 9 months of it. We had that impact in 9 months. And it's exciting, mate. We've paid for a holiday to Tenerife on it in April. And I know this sounds like a bit of I almost feel like I'm on the shopping channel when I'm saying shit like this. Just for $19.99, you can do it too. It did require a lot of graft and a lot of work to go into it. But fortunately, my management accountant, Wendy, has been really supportive of it. She's kind of looked at it and gone, yeah, this is typically the sort of stuff I was doing 15, 20 years ago in a different format with different bells and whistles. But this is what we were doing when we were going into pubs to do management accounts. Take this out here, put that there. So when I explained it to her, she was like, yep, got you. Perfect. I will start speaking to the clients who need this about this. So Wendy has become my biggest sales tool. Sorry, Wendy, but you are a tool.
She's going to love listening to this.
Oh, she is, but yeah, she's been almost integral to it, and she's taken a lot away from it as well. yeah, sorry. Before I carry on, Tim, have you got any more questions you want to throw in
I'm
there? Otherwise,
I'm enjoying listening to what you're talking about, Gareth. Obviously, the success of joining Profit First Professionals is always great to hear, especially the financial numbers, percentages behind that is always great for us to hear. What I liked about, by the way, I will just allay your kind of concerns. Yes, we are building our own portal, but the PFU, Profit First University, that's ran in America is now being moved over to another platform. So we will be migrating everyone across onto that platform. So you'll still have access to all of that. We're gonna do like a dual thing initially. We're gonna bring new members into our new platform, see how it goes, but we're still gonna give them access to the American one while there's a transitionary period, and we're just going to build and build and build until we can build us into such a good, whole all-round thing. This is going to take a long time. It takes a long time to build up resources and stuff. So you'll still have access to that, as will anyone else. I love the fact that Wendy's actively involved. So I want to point that out. A lot of people come and join us, and they end up being the bottleneck in their own business again. So they've moved away from the compliance, they've moved into adding advisory, but they're the only person adding the advisory or the Profit First advisory, and they become a bottleneck again in their business. So we very much encourage our members to include their team. And so with you, Wendy's been along to quite a lot of our post-certification calls and some of our community calls, and she joins in the call. And it's absolutely fantastic to have team members come on the call and really invest in Profit First within your business on your behalf to take the pressure from you. So that I wanted to highlight that. And the last thing I want to highlight from what you said, if that's okay, is we don't tie people into a contract. And why would we? Because we know what can be achieved if you work hard, pull your sleeves up, and really adapt the principles and live and breathe Profit First in your business. And if you decide you can't do that or you don't want to do that, we're not going to hold you into a contract, because we would rather have people in that are proactive and are really making things happen for them and their clients. So that's the points I've picked up from what you've said so far.
Yeah, absolutely, Tim. I suppose a big one, just on the back of what we've been through there, is bottleneck. So every accountancy practice owner, doesn't matter what they say, we've all got the same issue of being the bottleneck in there. And I've honestly tried thousands of different things, different ways of implementing stuff and whatnot. And I suppose, sidestepping from Profit First a little bit on this one, it will come back full circle, don't worry.
Okay.
Just a bit of advice on that one. The thing that worked the best for us was me getting shingles and realizing, shit, this is how much everything kind of relies on me. There are 9 of us. At the time, there were 10. But again, Profit First, didn't need 10. Now there's 8 of us. Didn't need 8. Didn't need 9. But that's by the by. So we started documenting every single process and procedure, no matter how small. I went through a busy period where I think we had somebody retiring. Somebody else had. Did we disappear then?
Just slightly. You're back again now.
That's fine. Sorry. So long and short, we had 2 people having to leave. One that I took on and sacked because, being honest, she was crap and wasn't working. And we had a load of people coming in one go. And I'm like, I cannot onboard and offboard all of these people in one go. I need a way of doing this. It's a monotonous task that doesn't need my intervention. So I was like, I'll do it for the admin. So I did that, and I started recording all of that and said, right, Mark, first job for you. Welcome to the team. But you are now going to basically do all of the onboarding for everybody else. Here's new Clino. Here's the videos for everything. Kind of off you go. Make sure you can follow it, and then re-record it yourself. So that was the first kind of step for it. It doesn't matter what process you start with. It's about compounding effectiveness, isn't it? So it was every little task, just recording it as you're doing it. A great deal of sense. It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to have bells and whistles. It doesn't need a fancy video. Just you can do it as you're going along. And we did. And that was part of the realization for me that I don't actually need all of these people in here. I just need to make sure that everybody else knows what they're doing. And that's genuinely how we started. So when it came around to Profit First, and I'd gone through the certification and we passed through that, I was looking at it going, I know that this is worth a lot of money. It can be life-changing for the right kind of client, but I also looked at it and thought, we're already operating as the full finance function for a lot of bars, restaurants and hotels. I can't now put this on my plate as well. So we went a bit of a different way to most people. So because I like the course element of PFU so much, was like, I need this. So I built up my own. And I asked a couple of other industry experts in hospitality that I'd worked with for a long time, what do you think of this? Can you help me with it? And honestly, you'd like both the guys, Louise and Kieran, but Louise's first response was, seems like a bit of a cult, this. And it is. It's the book's very Americanized, and when you look at Mike, he's so animated, and it is the typical Americanisms of arms waving everywhere. But I said, no, let's have a look at it, and this is what I've done with it. And she then went through the book and went, yeah, this makes sense. Let's have a chat with Kieran as well. Kieran went through it, and he went, yeah, this makes perfect sense. I've started doing it myself. Yeah, let's go for it. So rather than doing it on my own, I looked for other people that were within my niche that I knew I could work with and trust, that have things from a different point of view and the like. And we set it up that way. So we have a fully functioning course with a shitload of support. We've got Zoom calls running twice a month. Correct that one quick. So we've got those calls running twice a month. One is a round table with me, Louise and Kieran, so we can run through everything Profit First. And the other one is a call with other industry experts. So whether you're in hospitality and need to learn about data, or you need a 101 on marketing, or in how to take care of your team properly, that sort of thing. We've got all of these people coming in. Or if you're in the industry, you'll have noticed the harshness of a lot of the EHO checks going on at the moment. People are being blasted for absolutely everything that they would not previously have been collared for. So we've also got somebody coming on to talk about how to get and maintain 5-star hygiene ratings, because it's far more difficult than it sounds. It's not just a case of making sure things are clean. There's so many processes that go into running a restaurant that it's untrue. So one of the main bits that I liked about Profit First, or do like about Profit First, is that it's quite flexible. And within that, because Profit First, the book, gives you a great kind of setting, but it's not everything. And it's obviously not unique to any particular industry. So we were like, well, there's other things that people can do to be profitable that don't exist in the book. It's having the correct marketing plan. It's the guest experience. There was so much in there, and like, this is not technically part of Profit First, but it needs to be part of my Profit First. Because we can't just, as much as I love to believe that finance runs everything, and it is the center of most things, it's not necessarily how you make money in everything. It's how you save money. It's how you change process. It's how a lot of things happen. It's definitely the how, but it's not necessarily the what or the why.
Yeah.
So that's what we kind of set out to do, was to build this more encompassing. I don't like using the term business development tool, because I feel like most people doing business development are tools, and I'm really sorry about that. But it tends to be a lot of the same people spouting a lot of the same advice for an absurd fee. But what we wanted to put together was something that restaurant owners could, go through in their own time, but there's sense checks in there from us, and they get the results if they followed it through, and they do. Don't get me wrong, it's still early days. I mean, we've had clients running it for about 6 months, and we're seeing definite improvements. But, we need another 6 months before we can look and go, you know what, this has been successful, or this needs changing, and changing fast. And that's the hard part for me, because I like change. and I like continuous change, as long as it's for the better. So what's the Japanese principle? Is it Kaizen? Change for good. It's kind of how I like to operate. It's very difficult for me to kind of sit on my hands and go, let's see how it turns out. No, I want to know now, and I want to fix it now. And again, feeding back into the whole profit first element and the cash flow management side of it. One of the great points for us that I'm speaking to existing clients or potential ones is that, yes, we do our management accounts. Yes, we do look at the balance sheet and the cash flow, but looking at cash flow in hospitality it's almost a fruitless endeavor unless you can update that every single day of the week. It's not a service business. It's much harder to predict. So we looked at it and went, well, if we set these bank accounts up right with profit first, rather than waiting for a week or two after the end of the month for me telling you that your labour's shit, if we're allocating the correct percentages to these pots or bank accounts and we don't have enough money to pay people at the end of the week or the end of the month, then we know straight away that we've ballsed it up somewhere, and we can then go and investigate. And if that means we need to adjust the labour percentage, then so we don't use it in lieu of management accounts, but it provides a great bit of support that clients can look at and go, okay, I know I've overspent. Then we use the management reports to look at it and go, this is where you've overspent and why it's happened. Right the way through to weather forecasts and variations in temperature. And I think one of our management accounts even has wind speed in there somewhere, Tim. It's hospitality, mate. The weather affects all of it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So it's as mad as it sounds, we do tend to do a comparison between year on year of this is why it looked like this last year versus this, and this is where the bank holidays were, and as much insight and detail as we can to figure out why it's gone right or why it's gone wrong. Profit first has been that it's been the first tool for these clients, if you like. Is your bank account showing the right numbers? Yes, brilliant, we're on track. Let's see what we can do to improve. No, it's not showing the right numbers. Then, okay, here's the management report. Where have you fucked it? To put it politely. Well, no, to be fair, that's how I speak to people anyway, mate. So,
I think it sounds. I know for a fact you are an expert in your field of hospitality, as well as being an expert as an accountant. And I think that massively helps how you can dig deeper and deeper into the issues that the hospitality industry suffer from at times. But being able to look at things initially from the profit first perspective, then the management accounts perspective, and then dig deeper into those problems and understanding exactly what it's like, because you were in the kitchen, weren't you? You were a chef originally, so you know exactly what it's like to be that person. And so you can dig so much deeper into that industry. It gives you such an advantage over anybody else within this sort of niche that you're delivering results for. So what you've said about your clients, and you've seen it's been 6 months, so it's too soon to look at the results. And of course, we're quite open about this, aren't we? That profit first isn't a quick fix, but it is small steps to move forward. And the real world is you will have clients and you'll say, how the profit first plot's going? Perfect. Yeah, let's move on. Let's talk about some accounts. Great. Or can we make it better? Or no, it's not working and this is why. And then you can solve those problems, because real world things happen, don't they? And in hospitality as well, the margins, etc., it's a very difficult industry, or it can be, from my understanding. You know more about that. But Profit First gives you the opportunity to open those conversations up nicely and to have clarity on what is actually happening with the money, doesn't it?
No, that's absolutely it, mate. So on paper, hospitality can be profitable, but it takes one bad month to destroy cash flow. So I did a good bit of research did this about 6 months ago. So we've been going for about four and a bit years at that point. So I went back at every single client we've got, looked at all of the reporting we've done for everyone, cash flow, the whole lot. And I worked out that it takes roughly, it takes about 18 months to get out of a £15,000 cash flow deficit if you've got a turnover of 400k plus.
Okay.
So it's a long time to recoup 15k. You know, I don't need to go into too much detail and whatnot, but like for me, if I ran short on 15k, we can do a bit of a campaign. We can go and plow through some year ends early for the one-off ones, and we can recover it. Hospitality can't. The minute you're shy on that, you've missed the VAT return, or you've underpaid it, or you've missed PAYE. Then the fees and fines start mounting up, and so on and so forth. Then a supplier gets behind. Something breaks in the kitchen, and yeah, it can be a real slippery slope really quickly. So what we're trying to do with not just our profit first clients, but all my clients is go through and say, you know what, if you don't want to be a part of profit first because you don't feel like you've got the time for it, that's absolutely fine. But what you should really, really, really do regardless is set up, is set up these separate bank accounts and pots. Make sure you're allocating it. You know, if you don't want to go through profit first, work out a percentage you're comfortable with, and make sure one of your accounts is the shit hits the fan account. Because in hospitality, it's never a case of if, it's always a case of when something goes wrong, when something breaks, when staff leave. Not such a interesting factoid. Hospitality generally has a turnover of the UK average is about 89% in staff turnover. Liverpool is 58%.
Okay.
So I'm not saying that people from Liverpool are better, mate, but we kind of
are. I'm not going to argue against that point. So, so it's interesting though, the level of information to do with hospitality that you go to, and it just highlights all these things that you can help your customers with. So, yeah, thanks for sharing that. While you've been talking, it's been you probably don't need to hear this, but I'm going to say it anyway. But it's taken me back to my younger days. I worked for a large local bakery that had 90 to 100 shops in this area. And I can remember the guy I worked for, who was the finance director, always used to do his forecasting, and he used to look at the weather forecast as well, because of the effect on footfall in the high street and how many people would likely to be coming in and out of the shops and stuff. So yeah, it's really interesting you mentioned about the weather, because it just took me right back to those conversations right back years ago, you know, when, probably before I had kids, you know. It's going back a long time now, but it's interesting. These experiences, they come back, don't they? And you get reminded of these things. So appreciate you sharing that. It's giving me some good memories there.
No, it's no problem at all, mate. It's the weather bit is interesting, and one of the bits of advice that we do give to our clients who are, you know, looking at opening their second or third site is pay attention to seasonality. Not necessarily spring, summer, autumn, winter, but we have a couple of places where they do exceptionally well in January and February. They're students orientated, so the students are all back in uni, so they're packed out because students don't give a fuck what time of year it is. But if the pub's open, the pub's open, or the bar or the experience that they want to have. I'm not saying all students are alcoholics. I certainly was. I know that the landscape has changed dramatically since, but the advice that we give to these people is, if you've got a site that is heavily dependent in one area, like there being sun for you to use your terrace and have those additional 50 seats outside, the second site that you need to look at needs to be a warm and cozy pub sort of thing, something that does particularly well when the weather's crap. Whether that's a fine dining restaurant, because again, they don't tend to suffer with seasonality so much. They just tend to be relatively even keel all year round. Or whether it is that warm and cozy bar, or if you're the other way around, go and find where you've already got the warm and cozy. Go and find something on the dock front in Liverpool where, when it's sunny, you're going to do £300,000 in a month. Don't ever do like for like. It's because otherwise you're going to face the same cash flow issues across all your sites. And that's the things, Tim. I'm going to swear one last time or two last times. If you're fucked in a particular season with one site, then obviously you're doubly fucked in a particular season with two sites if they're operating the same way.
Yeah.
So we always want to see some form of variation based on not just necessarily style and size, but seasonality as well. We want to be busy all year round. The fact of the matter with hospitality now is that sometimes being busy all year round requires two venues operating at completely different wavelengths. But to do that, just to circle it back to profit first, you've got to have cash.
Yeah.
So we made it a new site account as well, which again, our larger or expanding places do have a bank account that's purely dedicated for opening a new site. Technically, it's the profit hold account, but let them think what they want to think.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, it's great to hear these extra accounts that you open, because obviously when people read the book, they just see the standard basic profit first accounts as per the book's written. But we find with all of our members and with all the industries they're working in, there's so much opportunity to open additional pots for strategic reasons like you've just shared with us. So Gareth, I want to ask you about profit first and hospitality, Evans and Co as well, which is also accountancy and profit first for hospitality business. Is there a niche within the niche of hospitality? Are there certain types of businesses you work with within hospitality?
Yeah, so being very honest, there are a chunk of accountants out there that will deal with wet-led pubs. So, if you're interested in that, go and have a look at the British Institute of Innkeepers. They have their own recommended people. As far as I am aware, I am the only chef turned accountant that purely deals with hospitality and looks at it from a back of house angle. Within the UK, caveat that one, I'm sure there'll be other people elsewhere. But for us, we typically work with our main criteria is, are you doing a minimum of 500,000 a year? Because with that, we can affect change quite well. We do work with a couple of clients smaller than that, but being totally transparent, it depends on how fun they are to work with. Because I'm in this for the long haul, mate. I'm not looking to build and sell an accountancy practice. I'm looking for nice people to work with, and that means we take a little dip on revenue to transform something into the next Wetherspoons or Dougal's Donuts or Beef Fried Chicken, dropping names there because we look after some of them, not Wetherspoon obviously, but if we can work with somebody that then turns them into that, then that's the fun bit for me. But we do typically find that 500k plus bar or restaurant is our kind of golden triangle, if you like, just because it's so much easier to affect change at 500k than it is to do it at 150, 200, especially with the way that we operate as a full finance department. Again, I don't mind saying this out loud. So our typical fees, our average starting fees, if you like, are between 12 and 15k. We do have clients that are on much more. So a restaurant doing 200,000 a year, it's not going to be affordable, and it's not. I wouldn't feel nice taking it from them. I had somebody tell me once that it's not up to you to decide what people can and can't afford, and my answer was, well, I'm an accountant. That is exactly my job. So, bars and restaurants for the most part with us, Tim. Something that's been going for at least a year, so they've got a good idea of where things have started to go wrong, what they're doing right, and what can be fixed. They also tend to be the most fun to work with.
Yeah. And I know you said that as well, the personality of the person running the business. You want to get on with them, you want a relationship with them. And I know you've got a good relationship with all of your clients. And because I know the answer to this question, but I'd like you to share how often you actually speak with your clients. How often do you pick up the phone and chat to them?
So it's always within the month. Yeah. Every month I have a chunk of clients that will be week by week. Some of them might need 3 or 4 calls within a week, but that's my role. One of the best things I did was started to hire people who are better than me at doing the statutory work, compliance work, if you like. I nearly called it grunt work, but it's not. It's the biggest part of what we do. I just hire better people than me to deal with that, so that I can, long and short, flaunt about. I'll make sure things are running properly, clients are happy, and fix any issues as they arise, because I've got the capacity to do so, and then jump in and help the team as and when I can. But for me, that's the most important bit. We all make mistakes and we all make errors, but if you're communicating with your clients on point all the time, I'm not saying that errors can be, forgiven, especially if they're particularly bad, but clients are much more accepting of things going wrong when you're willing to speak to them. So it's got to be my job as a business owner, is to make sure that people are happy. My clients and my team. That's what I see my role as now. Try and make life as easy as I can for everybody that works with me and for me, which in turn makes my life easier as well.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask that. I deliberately asked you that as we were talking about your niche within a niche and the customers you work with, because I knew the answer. Bit of inside info, obviously, there, as we've built our relationship up. But I wanted to share that because I think there's probably a lot of accountants and bookkeepers out there that maybe don't speak to their clients regularly. And I just think people are missing an opportunity. So I just wanted to highlight that point from you, if that's okay.
No, of course, Tim.
Relationships are everything, aren't they? In any walk of life, and within business, it should be no different.
No, you're absolutely right, and please don't get me wrong. There is room in the market for accountants that just do the year end and just do the self-assessments and go for volume, or as much as they need to live, whatever way they kind of sort it. But it's not for me. It's not fun. You don't learn anything about people. You don't understand where they're going and what they're trying to do, and you do miss opportunities for it. But I do understand that some people just want to do the year end and just want to get it out of the way and just want to basically do the compliance element, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I am seeing more and more on the inquiry calls that we have. It's along the lines of, I need more proactivity, or my management account's not my accountant's not giving me a P&L or my management account. Like, well, have you asked for it? No, because I thought it was like a normal thing to do. I'm like, no, it's a more normal thing nowadays. However, historically, accountancy is compliance. It's not business advisory. It's not changing the way people think. It's, here's your year end and see you in 12 months' time. There's your bill, off you go. But we're seeing that more and more is business owners don't want that. Life's getting harder and businesses are getting much more difficult to run. And a lot of people now are starting to see accountants more as GPs. If you like, you don't necessarily know the answer, but you sure as hell have got to be able to find it, or at least know the person that will be able to do it. And that's how we operate. If we can't do it, let's find somebody that can. Let's keep everybody happy, keep in contact, and honestly, best things that you can do if you're looking to grow your business into something a little bit more than year-end and compliance only. Just to kind of appreciate that we're pressing for time.
Okay,
a little bit
well,
now.
continue. It's fine.
But yeah, just again, in the interest of transparency, we look after around about 45 to 50 companies, and our turnover is $500,000. We do that now with 8 people in the team, including myself. So it's essentially, I don't want to play down what we do at all, but we do more with, we get more working with less, being able to provide a much more in-depth service. I'm not saying compliance is not a good service, but I can guarantee you that people just doing compliance only are not having the conversations that we're having, and don't get paid the fees that we're getting paid for doing it. So if you're wanting to up your game, reduce the number of people you're working with, and help who you've got. Because we're fortunate now, but I'm sure every accountant that you and I have ever spoken to, Tim, probably has a dickhead list. Clients that they don't really want to work with, but it pays the bills. We've oh yeah, absolutely. We've well and truly moved past that now to, you know, we work with the people that we can help to change, that we can help to build a better business with. You know, it's that added. I hate catchphrases, but one of my favourites is "be the change that you want to see in the world" kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they're the people that we want to work with, those that want to do better, those that want to improve their lives, those that, you know, want to look after the people that they work with and look after their families at home and the like. And that's the fun bit for me. It's really fucking rewarding being able to do it. And I don't feel like you get that with compliance. You get a lot of money, but, you know, if you're in this for the long haul, money isn't the be all and end all. We're fortunate that we get a lot of money and we do good with it.
Yeah, I totally agree. Thanks, Gareth, for explaining that. And my final question is, any accountants, bookkeepers and coaches listening, what would your advice be when it comes to Profit First?
If you're not already doing it, do it. It's worst case scenario, you're going to throw away a few quid and lesson learned. Best case scenario, you're going to do what I did, massively reduce your labour spend and just have a lot more cash in the bank at the end of it. And yeah, it's as simple as that, mate. We don't need a big spiel on it. Just fucking have a go. Stop over-analysing shit and give it a go. Yeah.
Love it. Thank you so much, Gareth.
Worst case scenario, you've got a tax double expense.
I'd like to think we can give more than that, but I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm just putting your main website for people watching the video down, evansandco.uk. We've already shared this one, so I'm going to share that as well. So let's just get people. So if people want to contact you, this is how they can contact you. profitfirsthospitality.com, and also through, I believe, through Instagram. This is one of your links as well, which is Each Accountants. Have I got that right?
Yeah, you have. We do also have LinkedIn and Facebook, but I'll be honest, I do not post any of my own things, and I very rarely check messages on LinkedIn because you know what they're typically like. But Instagram, yeah, I respond to them all the time.
There we go. So that's the place to get hold of Gareth if you want to. Gareth, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate you sharing everything that you've shared, your expertise from becoming from a chef to an accountant. Like you say, the only one in the UK to have done that. Certainly the only Profit First professional I know in the world that's done that as well. So there's an extra edge for you as well. So thank you so much. It's been a pleasure chatting to you. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me. It's been wonderful, Tim. Thank you for listening, and sorry about the swearing.
No worries. Thank you for joining us on our podcast today. Profit First Beyond the Book was brought to you by the Profit First Professionals UK and Ireland team. If you'd like to find out more about Profit First or becoming a Profit First professional, head to our website, profitfirstuk.co.uk.